As you know, on Thursday evening, our city alerted nearby residents of the potential presence of mercury at the Fairmont Pond. And this was done out of an abundance of caution with the public safety in mind. This afternoon, I am pleased to announce that in both an additional round of testing done by the city, as well as first round of comprehensive testing done by the Environmental Protection Agency, there has been no evidence found of mercury contamination. I will let Valery Bizyev of the EPA, he is the federal on-scene coordinator, go into further detail on the testing that has confirmed this. But I want to restate that every step that the city has taken in this incident has been with the safety and needs of our residents in mind. There's a honeybee here, so I'm just gonna let it be, actually. The safety of every Salt Laker is the top priority for my administration. And when situations like this arise, your health and safety are our absolute top priority. And we did these alerts and precautions out of an abundance of caution. And I'm grateful that we did, but even happier that we have this good news to share with you this afternoon. I want to thank Laura Briefer, the city's Director of Public Utilities, for leading the city's incident command these past few days, as well as Bud Bowden, Teresa Gray, Marion Rice, who also helped lead incident command. And I want to thank the EPA and Valery for being here and helping us evaluate this issue in a timely way. We'll hear from Valery next, followed by Laura.
Yeah, it's warming up. Hey everyone, my name is Valery Bizyev. I'm with the Environmental Protection Agency out of Region 8. I'm a federal on-scene coordinator. For those, just to give a quick intro. So I'll kind of just touch base, right? I think last time we talked, we were kind of, still in the investigation phase. And so, over the last day or two, my crews have went through and we just started sampling, right? We're looking. And so we sampled throughout the park, right? Both upstream of the pond and downstream. So, we looked at storm drains. We looked at any points of interest that, might be potential sources. There was a fire within the area. There's also active demolition. And so we kind of looked around. So one of the first things that we did when we arrived on scene was we went through it with an instrument to look for mercury vapors, right? That's usually the source of contamination. We went through and we didn't really see much, right? So we got mostly background levels. There was a little bit of a peak around the frac tank or the metal tank that's out there, but it's probably nothing of concern, right? And it was definitely far below any action level that we would be concerned at. We collected both water and sediment samples. And so in the water samples, we looked for anything that would be suspended in the water and then also anything dissolved in the water. So you will see those test results hopefully coming out here shortly. I'm just making sure that they're sound quality before I release them, but preliminary results show non-detects, or everything was just at the detection limit, which is pretty low. So there's no concern, right? We haven't reached any of our action levels or areas of concern. We went through, that was yesterday, we even got out in a little boat. If anyone was out there, you would have seen my guys paddling around trying to get some water and sediment. And then, so we sent those those samples off to the lab last night. We got the results this morning, right? There's a lab locally within the city we're grateful enough that they were able to stay open for us, and they're actually working on the weekend in order to get us results. We got in this morning, and we kind of just saw it because there was a storm event last night, which is great. For us, what that does is it gives us the ability to look and see if maybe this wasn't a one-time thing, and maybe a storm event would agitate the scenario. And so we looked for a flushing event, and so we took an additional round of samples today again, even after we had the preliminary results back, just as out of caution, just to make sure there isn't anything in the water. Those samples are at the laboratory now. I should be able to receive the preliminary information later on tonight or tomorrow morning, and I should be able to release them right after validation, hopefully tomorrow night or Monday at the latest. That's my hope. So all in all, right, we looked at everything that we could possibly see, right, out of abundance of caution. We took extra care, right, in taking samples that are, accurate and characteristic of the site. And along with what the city pulled, right, we do feel pretty confident, right, that there is no mercury contamination within the pond. And then, that's my update, and I'll turn it over to Laura to provide an update from Public Utilities.
Hello, I'm Laura Briefer, Director of Salt Lake City Public Utilities. We've been involved in incident command for this response. I want to thank EPA's on-scene emergency response, Valeri and his team, for their very swift work to ensure that the public safety is protected, and their work to confirm what looks like an absence of health risk. I wanted to let you know that the city and my department will be taking a couple of additional steps as we move forward. First of all, we're going to be investigating the cause of the initial detection of mercury in that wastewater tank where that was initially detected. We're also going to be undertaking some comprehensive flushing of the pond system on Monday. There still is a little bit of a sheen on the water, and we're not quite sure where that sheen has emanated from. It's very thin, very light. It was very hard to partition the sheen to take any kind of samples. We don't think it's any kind of petroleum or other chemical product. What we think it is maybe mineral oil or cooking oil. But we're going to flush out the pond system. Some of that oil appears to have gotten attracted to the vegetation in the pond and in the river system in the park. And so we want to make sure that we can flush that off so that we can eliminate the presence of that sheen in the long run. And again, just thanking the mayor's office, Chief Bowden, our emergency manager, my team at Public Utilities, the Parks and Public Lands team, our Salt Lake City Council office, and particularly Council Chair Amy Fowler for her support. And I think that's all I have right now. Happy to take any questions.
Great. No questions? Great. Thank you.